Okay, so I'm on the 4-hour dollar yen. This updates, I think, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 5 p.m. So we're about to get the update in about 8 minutes on the 4-hour dollar yen. And I zoomed out pretty far. I'm going back to April 14th. And I'm dissecting, it's like a scalper's view. I'm dissecting the scalp that I did off of the double tops on the 4-hour closing prices. There's a double top back here. So I bought into this whole vault. Everything from this, I started buying. I was talking to one of my remaining friends, and they said, hey, look at that yen. I was like, wow. So I couldn't resist the 20 pip scalp, and now I'm hoping for a retap. So here's my 15-minute script and my 30-minute, my 1 hour. And I'm going to put in the 1 hour grid that's just cycle grid on the tail of this wick. And then I'm going to buy new lows. So if we go down lower today, I'm buying for the next 3 hours, the market has to drop 30 pips into this low and capture. So it's constantly probing. And once it runs out of sellers, then it's going to retrace. Major crush down into this. It's kind of hard to see here because I got all these. Like I should turn off all my my colors here so you can see the actual prices. So I'm going to turn off all. I make my entries white and my exits black. So I'm just going to turn off. The volume is your limit order. When you see your entry price, they call them volume. So just go blank all out, and then let's get rid of these balls. So you see what I'm talking about. This right here is the double top, and this wick here was the one that they took out. You can barely see it. It's just this last, like all the algos are running their stops here, right? They're stacking up. So if you build a breakout bot. A breakout bot would, well, it wouldn't have any closing prices. All it sees is breakouts. So if you turn off the line chart, and you see that, because the algo got trapped there, or there was a pile of orders, and that fueled the scalp here, about a 10 pip scalp, at least, right? And your exit's going to be here, just as far as time goes, so it's not a lot of money. And then there's, but you're looking back, but you're looking at, this is 10 pips roughly per week rate of change. So this is definitely going more than 10 pips a week, straight up, right, out of that thing. Cool thing about fixing the scale on your platform, you go into the fix scale. If you go like this, properties, fix that scale, it's a whole different world opens up. You really can think about scalping instead of waiting for these giant setups that may take, like, you may have no trades the whole week, and what are you going to do then? Then what are you going to tell your psycho wife? Honey, yeah, there's no money. So, if I put a pile of orders in like this, beyond the low of the day, and there's my master stop. I think I wrote this with a master stop, so it's an iceberg with a master stop. So, the 30 pip deep, 3 hours, here's another iceberg. You lay this in, you go to sleep, come back later. Now, they might blow you out. If you're organized enough to have a script for every pip, you just keep writing these, right? You save as, you copy, and you say 80 pips deep in 8 hours. You say 120 pips deep in 12 hours. I could lay those in before I went to sleep, and the 12-hour order really means I'm going to go out on a real drinking bender, and I'm not coming back. And I'm committed to buying that zone. Now, you can also drag these orders after you drop them, but I don't recommend that, because then you're going to break your scheme. You're gonna gonna destroy your plan. And that's you don't want to do that, right? Because you want to be able to repeat your win. And then there's orders here, I'm sure, with stops. This is prime real estate to buy. Prime. You buy it when they're ripping down the house. Wait, where do you buy? You buy in the high end of town? No, you buy in the ghetto. Obviously. You buy when it's as bad as it can be. Right in this window. This is the exact same setup we had in the daily Euro today. Almost exactly the same. 10 pip kickback. 10 pip windows. So some of your orders are outlandish. They're greedy as all can be. You have the 10 pip risk to make this. You have an order that risks 20 to make this. If you would have launched those all today on the euro dollar, every variation of that, even if you didn't hit the almost up like 150, 200 pips with the very bottom, right? You're up like insane. It went above the round handle by 50 pips today. 40 easy. And there was a 20 pip noise game that's been going on. There's been a distribution going on in the 15-minute euro dollar. So if you're a distribution trader and you can handle all that little up down, but you're big enough to make it worth your while, then certainly that's your life. Or you take the on the sidelines approach. You're waiting for them to do something ridiculous so you can make money a little further out, away from the current prices. If you jump on the train right now, you better know the direction. You better have a clue of what's probable. And you know when you're getting out. You know exactly when you're getting out. So those are keys. Like if you're going to buy a car, do you want a high mileage car or do you want some beast? Well, that's the wallet part of trading. Are you driving a Porsche that if we go off-road, we're going to have to buy a new Porsche because we just destroyed the suspension? Or are you going to buy a gas-guzzling Hummer and be like, gosh, I'm waiting for my first pothole. You just can't wait to... You thought you solved that problem, and as soon as you buy the Hummer, you're like, all of a sudden the roads are smooth. I guess I overshot the runway on that. Okay, it looks like dollar yen here is a buy. But I'm going to let them come back into my order bank. So I'll let the market come to you. Let the market prove you right. Since this broker lets me trade inside the spread, I'm going to put buy stops in that are scalps. And the discipline here would be waiting every 1 minute to pull the trigger. So you don't want to be too much like a monkey going for the endless stream of cocaine in the cage. So it's really about, that's the discipline part, right? To say, okay, I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get divorced. I'm sticking to my guns. You can't have my money. So, to all my ex-wives that are listening, they're jealous because I'm banging the Forex market. Sorry. I just love trading this stuff. It's just too much. I mean, this MT4 thing is such a coot, and you can run it on demos for free. Where in the planet can you find a business that you can practice for free? You could not open a coffee shop and demonstrate your coffee shop, right? You can do it on paper, but you don't have real customers. Why isn't everybody trading? It just seems like the most obvious way to make money. And not, in other words, even to train to make money. A free demo? My God, man. I mean, it's like, if it was just a game that people played, I'd be doing it. What's with these video games? Some guy wrote a video game. Even Stefan Maloney is reviewing these video games. My God, man, for a guy that's, you know, I hate to beat up on him now, but for a guy that's claiming he's a philosopher, that was a joke. You're a philosopher? Do you have any money? No, I'm a poet, and I don't know it. Well, traders don't really look at the world like that. We're greedy. We want to make money. Alright, so I'm hoping they film me on this stuff. Come down, here's the moment of truth. 1 o'clock. Just updated the 4-hour chart. Now there should be a big gust of wind here. Here comes the institutional traders. Their algorithm's on the clock. You know it. There you go. A big move there. And if you go to the 1-hour chart, you can see the moment of truth there. So here's where it gets all like, are we going to go lower? Is we going lower? Come on. Bring it. So I like this style of trading. And if you don't overtrade anything, it works so good. Sure, you can trade Gartleys. I'm just saying it was taking forever to get, okay, they're filling my, putting in my scalps now. Just above. And that's the 5-minute traders are coming in now. So the cool thing about being in this mode, if you jump to the 5-minute right now, this is the whole reason of this video. Fixed scale. Fixed scale trading. If I go to the 5-minute, you're like, whoa. Like, see, now you can see all your Gartleys and all this stuff you dreamt about. Now you got to scrunch down a little bit. Don't take it down too far, because you want to be able to go back to the 4-hour at any moment. So you go 4-hour, you can see what's going on the 4-hour, and you can see the world of pure price. Then you can go to the momentum of the 15 double bottom. Okay, kind of a triangle. Can I draw a trend line? Go to the 1-minute. Even the 1-minute makes sense now, right? Can we all see this? Where do I get in? Buy right now at the market. Why? We've come back and retested this thing, right? So buy at the market, right? Buy on limits, super tight. Now, these limits could be 3 to 5 to 8 pips tight. They last for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah. Now, on the 1-minute chart, can you make money? Yeah, you got to be in big, and you got to get in, out, in, out. And you're just literally, you are the market. I mean, your mind is like, okay. But you can trade the 1-minute. But you should be able to go to the 4-hour and see where you're in the big picture. And the 1-hour, you can't even see data. There's nothing to look left into. Granted, I could zoom on another level, but then, wow, it's tough to see the forest for the trees there. And if you go to this, you're like, wow. Then if you go to the daily, you're like, wow. And go to the weekly, you're like, whoa, we've been here before. So yeah, you could say anything about anything, right? We've been here before, and so fixed scale, and then have your I can go to the 1-minute chart. Now, the 1-minute chart is where you're going to reduce your risk enormously. And you're going to know real quickly whether you're right or wrong. And you can live in a 15-minute world and a 30-minute world here, right? You can have 30-minute, 15-minute stuff going on. If you're waiting for a 8-hour pullback to get into a trade, yeah, you know what? I think I realized I don't have the patience for that. So I look at the 1-minute. Or look at the tick chart. And have a buy at the market so you can scalp this first obvious move of maybe 8 to 10 pips up, and then dump. Then come back with the limits, then dump. But you got to get in and out, in and out, in and out. So yesterday I was trading in this new demo. I was up $1,700, and I knew I should have got out, but I wasn't used to trading on a demo with that much money in the account. I thought, well, let's just double the account. Right? You can do it. So I'm up 1,700. I could have hit the close all profits, and I actually did earlier, and then I reloaded on limits, and it was too close to the market, and I hadn't resized the orders, and there's only so many orders you can put in some of these brokers. They only allow so many orders. I'll be there in a second. And you know, it's like you can only do so much, right? They only allow so many orders. Keeps you from over trading though. Keeps you blowing the demo up too. Then occasionally you will get your trade plan matches the wild ass move that the market does. So if you can have in your toolbox or in your in your, like, say you've got a order that risks 20 to make 80. When these news events come out, even if that was a buy stop, it might have made money. Imagine if it was a buy stop breakout, not a limit. They break through this thing, they keep going, boom, maybe slippage of 10 pips, but you just made 70 pips. So when the market gets quiet, if you hand place, and I guess when I say never trade with some people misinterpret when I say don't trade with stops. I mean entry stops, right? So there's so much confusion. It's so hard to have a conversation with the trader when they say stuff like, well, how are you getting in? And they say, well, there's only 3 ways that I know of. Is the market order, which is instant execution, whatever the thing is, and you may get a shitty fill there. And then you have the predefined buy stop, which you may get slippage there, and you have the predefined buy limit, which I guess you get slippage there. I don't know. Supposedly it's a limit, so there is supposed to be no slippage, but I don't really worry about, like, when I get my hamburger and it's a quarter pounder, do I have a scale in my pocket? No, I don't weigh it out and then call management. But yeah, so the 1 minute chart. Plenty of amazing trades here that if you really can draw a Gartley on the fly, look at all the Gartleys in here. There's Gartleys on a 1 minute chart. I'll give you that. There's not many, and moving averages on here would even work if they were kind of tamed down in envelopes, but you got to be on it. You just got to take the money and run. You're just playing a poker game. It's like you're gambling, but everybody's gambling. Everybody's risking. If risking's gambling, I'm a gambler. I'll go to Gamblers Anonymous. Go to a Gamblers Anonymous meeting and just imagine all the traders. You could probably get some good traders from there. If you're trying to build a prop house, I mean, I'd love that. Anybody wants? I got a whole list of how to build a prop house. You have to interview people, see what their association of money is, right? Break things in front of them, take stuff that's expensive and just take a hammer to it. Say, how do you feel about that? And they'll upset. The people that aren't going to be upset, unfortunately, the people that kill people, the sociopath. That's how the banks hire these people. That's been known fact. They hire sociopaths to trade for them. So you have to be, you have to be kind of in a way you have to be a real, well, I guess you have to trade your personality. So if you're a brinksmanship person like myself, you want to get in right at the cheapest. If you want to be the guy that picks bottoms and tops, you're on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, you're like, yeah. Okay, and you're wrong right away. As soon as they go into new lows, I got all those limits down there to get picked up on the rebound. Or you put a hedge on. And it's a different mindset. Because now you're saying I didn't decide. If you lock a hedge in at the market with tight stops, and it works. 15 pip stops, 40 pip take profits. Scaled out either side. Write a bracket script. 4 buy stops above hard stop entry, or maybe it's scaled stop entry. It's a volatility Gushian breakout. There's more than one breakout. There's the breakout, and then there's maybe the slide out. Maybe there's the I finally heard first time ever Akil Stokes use the word rolling, like scaling out. And some guy asked in the chat room this morning, what about he's like, well, should I get a swing account or a scalp account? Well, of course. You should get you should go the extra inch and get a CAD account, a yen account, so you can tell. you could actually have the scalps built in there, and you don't have to feel like, well, if I take all profits now, I'm taking off the other winners from the other accounts, because if you are scalping inside of an account that's running giant wins on the guppy, you just destroyed the whole guppy. So you have a guppy broker. And when you pick a guppy broker, you want the tightest spread broker you can get. So this one guy says he likes trading the guppy, and some people don't. Well, the people that don't are the people that are into watching get 200 pip stop outs. They're trying to make 600 pips, though. So, yeah, 600 pips a day. Some guy said he made 600 pips a day. Yeah, why not? Maybe he just made it and the market was only going up and down 100 points, but it went up and down 6 times, 5 times, 3 times, right? He traded every swing. So 1 minute chart here looks like a buy again. We could collapse, though, right now. So if you're in a hedge right now, you're loving it, right? Because you've bracketed that. And if you're like me, waiting to get filled on these limits, I'm just waiting for the market to come to me. So if they can try to bid it down, retest the low of the day, I think I get picked up on a couple limits there, and wait a couple another minutes. You could trade candlesticks. Here you're pulling the trigger every time you see a hammer or doji, if you're bullish. Every time that market pauses. Or even every time right there on that down. I could have bought at the market on that down. And I could have got in. But even after the big collapse earlier, look at all the pips on here. Right? Amazing. Insane. Look at this. Double top. Can't get up there. Trend line. Break. We break through here. We trap the bears. They come back up. Second chance for the bears to get on board. The confirmation guy. Or just, this is 10 pips, see? You throw in a script that starts to place sell limits. 3, 5, 8, 12 pips north with a 15 pip stop. Press that button. And what you're going to find out is it works, and you wish you would have done a bigger order there. Then you're going to put a bigger order, and then you're going to blow up the account. No. But that's the problem, is once you find out that works, next thing you know, your trading's going to suck a little bit, because now you're really like, that's it. Wow. That's the way to go. So, and then you'll find that it's okay to take 8 pips. There's no shame in taking 8 pips with a 5 pip stop. Having a big, number on that. Anyways, that's the way I'm looking at it. And the seller should come in up on this line. Right up here, right? And hopefully blow through them. I'll be getting out of this thing if it goes up another 10 pips, and that's all there is to it. And I got some that are probably ride it for a little bit more, but I'm just a scalper. I'm just a scalper.